Hi, welcome back. We've been talking about heartbreaking stories of abuse. It's been so disturbing. It's a big Daybreak investigation into care homes. Yeah, today we're going to hear about the role of people who put their jobs on the line, really, whistleblowers who've put their jobs on the line to reveal the truth of what's going on in these places. Fiona's with us again. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Whistleblowers are so important, you know, because residents often can't speak for themselves because they've got dementia or Alzheimer's or something, lose the ability to speak, or they'll have told their relatives and the relatives aren't quite sure that these awful things are happening. So whistleblowers are really important, and unfortunately all too often some of these things are happening.
Parts of the home were so unclean, the smell was so bad I had to hold my breath as I walked through.
I was having to look after 15 residents on my own every night.
There was faeces on the walls, the residents weren't being washed properly and they weren't being assisted properly with their food and fluids.
3 women working at 3 care homes all made the career-changing decision to blow the whistle. Sarah lost her job after warning of dangerously low staffing levels. We've concealed her identity as she hopes to find a new job.
I can't understand how a manager or a care home can say that they've safeguarded their residents with just one carer at night. I realised that I did need to raise concerns about the home. It wasn't acceptable.
Catherine quit the industry after years working in many care homes. She raised the alarm about one where conditions were impossible to ignore.
I worked several night shifts in December where it was freezing cold. There were several residents, or at least 2 residents, who were genuinely crying because they were so cold. It's disgusting. They're not in that home to be cold. They're there to be looked after and cared for.
Neve gave evidence in the trial of a home manager found guilty of willful neglect. She's now petitioning for compulsory training for all care workers.
This home was not an isolated case. I've worked in quite a few and I know that the practices and the poor standards are commonplace. These are people's mothers and fathers and we are neglecting them.
With us now is Jenny Moore, who's actually banned from visiting her mother-in-law in a care home. You were banned because basically you complained. You were worried about what was happening to your mother-in-law.
That's right. I was making everyday complaints about basic care standards, commodes not being emptied, my mother-in-law not wearing her own clothes, just everyday basic care needs.
But the care home actually said it was the way that you complained. Did you feel that you were in any way sort of aggressive or what? No, you just wanted the best for your mother-in-law?
I felt I had a very good relationship with the care staff. Yeah. And the issue that was raised when they banned me was the frequency of my complaining. Yeah,
we should say that you went to the Ombudsman in the end. I mean, that must have been a bit of a hassle to get that, was it?
Yes, I mean, it took nearly 3 years to get the ban lifted. Yeah,
and he came down on your side?
They did, yes.
And in the meantime, you've not been able to see your mum?
I've only been seeing her at my family home. Right. The end of the government ombudsman investigation, it came to light that the care provider was trying to stop me from seeing my mother-in-law outside the care home as well, and serious allegations made against me.
That's so distressing because we know what it's like, don't we, Fiona? We're so bad at complaining. But you know, when you see something and you don't like it and you're upset about it, and I can understand, you know, seeing your mother-in-law there with her different clothes on and all of that, it's upsetting, isn't it?
I mean, I followed the correct complaint procedure. I started at local level, but because the issues weren't being resolved, it then escalated and I had to keep bringing up the same issues.
You've been there yourself, Fiona, haven't you, really?
Oh gosh, it's so distressing. You're looking at someone who has loved you and cared for you, and you've had to put them in a care home which burdens you with guilt, and then they're not being looked after properly.
We better put the home side of things, haven't we?
Yeah. So the home have said, Jenny, they said that you're the only relative that they've ever asked not to visit one of their care homes, and it wasn't because you complained about their services, it was because you didn't accept their resolutions. They said the temporary restriction was pending a meeting with you, Jenny, to discuss serious concerns about your behaviour. They say all your other family and friends have continued to be regular visitors. The Ombudsman said that if you'd come in to chat to the home a bit sooner, the ban would have been lifted a bit sooner, and that you haven't transferred your mum-in-law's treatment. She's still at the care home because she's happy and settled in the care home. You know, this is not issues of abuse or neglect, but however, you know, a person person in care deserves to have a dignity. I wouldn't want to be sitting there with my nails full of dirt and my feet not dealt with and hairs growing out of my face and wearing someone else's clothes. So that is part of care.
How do you make your point without going the way that Jenny did,
All right, well,
through no fault of her own?
If you're self-funded, which a lot of people unfortunately are now, then you really have to deal with the care home provider in the first instance. If you suspect that there's abuse or neglect, then you can get the counsel in, whether you're self-funding or not. Obviously, there wasn't abuse or neglect in this case. If you're funded by the council, then it would be the council that you would go to. You can go to the CQC, the Care Quality Commission. They won't take up individual cases, but they like to hear about problems in homes anyway. And then if you really are not satisfied with any of the answers you've got, you do what Jenny did and go to the local government ombudsman.
You've got to fight, haven't you? You've got to fight with
You have, and not everybody is an age that I am. There's a lot of people who are in retirement age themselves who may not know even how to complain.
But it's important that we do.
There is good care out there.
Oh, there is. Absolutely, there very much is. Thank you very much indeed.